Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN TV studios. Rick Olson here, and we're getting ready to bring you tonight's boys Dunn St. Croix Conference game, pitting the Colfax Vikings against the Plum City Elmwood Wolves. The 5 and 6 Vikings are looking to stay relevant in the Dunn St. Croix Conference race. The Vikings are coming off a 65-22 loss to the Elk Mound Mounders on Tuesday. The Wolves have a 9-4 overall record and are 4-2 in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. They're coming off a 64-38 victory over the Boyceville Bulldogs also on Tuesday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Plum City Elmwood Wolves and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Noel's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school boys basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back to Viking pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's boys basketball game between the Plum City Elmwood Wolves and the Colfax Vikings. The Vikings are looking to keep things close in the Dunn St. Croix Conference following their 65-22 loss to the Elk Mound Mounders on Tuesday. Now, in that game with the Mounders, the Vikings were led in scoring by 5'10 senior Bryce Sikora, who hit on 3 field goals and a 3-pointer for 9 points. He was followed by Austin Swanson, who made 2 field goals for 4 points. Now, thus far on the season, the Vikings are led in scoring by Nathan Hajdukovic and Elijah Ensminger, who are averaging over 11 points per game each. Following Hajdukovic and Ensminger are Jack Charlo and Sikora, who are adding nearly 9 and 8 points per game respectively. The leading rebounder for the Vikings is Tristan Lenz, who's pulling down 7 rebounds per game, while Charlo and Hajdukovic are grabbing 6 and 5 respectively. The Plum City Elmwood Wolves are coming off a 64-38 win over the Boyceville Bulldogs on Tuesday. Leading the way for the Wolves in that game was 6'7 senior Luke Webb. Now, he hit 10 out of 14 field goals as well as 2 out of 3 from the free throw line for 22 points. Webb was followed by Trevor Asher, who hit 4 field goals and 5 free throws for a total of 13 points, along with Travis Seipel, who added 11 points. Now, thus far on the season, the Wolves are led by Webb, who is averaging nearly 18 points per game. He's followed by Dane Whipple and Asher, who average 8 and 7.5 points, respectively. On the boards, Webb is a dominating force for the Plum City Elmwood Wolves, as he is averaging 14.5 rebounds per game. Seipel is also an effective rebounder for the Wolves, grabbing nearly 6 rebounds per game. Now, prior to their COVID interruption, the Vikings were on a roll, winning 3 games in a row. Then, following their long layoff, the Vikings ran into conference powerhouse Elk Mound, where the Vikings were thoroughly throttled. Still, however, the Vikings feel they can keep right in the thick of things in the conference race with a win tonight. Meanwhile, the Wolves, who are among the leaders in the Dunn St. Croix Conference, are looking to keep pace with the conference leading Durand. Currently, the Vikings are averaging 54 points per game while giving up an average of 61. The Wolves are scoring an average of 61 points per game while giving up 51. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Mark Knoll on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking boys head coach Mark Knoll on Coach's Corner. And Coach, on Tuesday, the Vikings ran into a situation they couldn't find a way to work their way through when they dropped a tough game to Elk Mound 65-22. Now, not taking anything away from the Elk Mound Mounders, who are a really good team, it seems as though the biggest problem the Vikings had was fallout from the layoff the team had due to COVID and having over a week of not being able to work together as a team and get their timing right and so on. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a tough game, and you hit the nail on the head. The fact that Elk Mountain is a very good team, and they're a big team. They've got some really good players, one of the best players in the conference on their team. With that said, Thursday and Friday going into that week before the game, we had 5 and 6 players at practice, and so we were not able to get work on what we need to work on, and it's hard to do much with 6 players. And
Right.
Monday we had everyone back. But we were just, it's still now you're like having to reteach things and have to learn things after having a few kids that had a whole week off of practice and games.
And you could see the frustration on the part of the players. I could see it looking across the gym and seeing your face. And you could just tell there was let's put it this way, plenty of frustration to go around.
Yes, and I think, and I have a positive mindset, and I feel like we will grow from that game. We will get better from that game. We will move forward. We already did yesterday, and now we have a new game coming up here with EPC, and looking forward to the new challenges.
Well, you kind of mentioned it, and so Tuesday's game is ancient history. So let's turn our attention to tonight's game, and that's the Vikings taking on the Plum City Elmwood Wolves. What can you tell us about the Wolves that doesn't start with Luke Webb?
Right. Well, I think overall, obviously, he is their key to their team at 6'7". But overall, they're a team that I feel confident that if we come ready to play, we can have a really good, tough, hard-fought game with this team. It's a team that we split with last year. I think that could probably happen again this year, But with that said, one of our goals is to try to sweep as many teams as we can, and we're going to put that. This is one of the games that I feel like we can possibly do that if we bring our full capacity of what we're able to do together.
Well, that kind of brings up the next question then. How are the Viking players physically? Are they getting their legs and wind back? Because once they do, so many of those shots that they were missing on Tuesday are going to start to drop.
Yeah, and yesterday at practice, it was like a whole new team was there. All of a sudden the ball's going back in the rim, and we were making plays and having success, and that's the one thing that I truly can say is I really love our players. I love our kids. I think they're really good kids. They want to be successful. They're working hard to being successful. What are we, 5 and 6 overall and 2 and 3 in conference? That's not bad for really only having one returning starter back from last year's team. So we're still a team that's got a lot of growth ahead of ourselves, and that's why you have seen some ups and downs. But at the same time, I really believe that by the end of the year, we're basketball.
Well, in fact, earlier this season, when I brought up the whole concept of the conference race, you kind of indicated you weren't overly concerned about the specifics of the race. You were more focused on continual improvement of the Vikings. And now those comments are making a whole lot more sense, as that continual improvement could lead to some really exciting basketball toward the end of the season. So what areas are you looking for the Vikings to pick up their game?
Well, I think the biggest one is multiple ones, but number one is just getting that overall experience. With that experience, I think you're going to see the defense look stronger and better. Okay, and we still are developing our system of play. So we still have some pieces of that puzzle that we haven't even shown yet to the public. So we're still working on that. And then offensively, finding that rhythm, finding that consistent players that we can go to. We've had, and I think a lot of teams go through, setbacks with COVID and stuff like that. We've had some really weird setbacks this year that we've had to deal with. It's kind of slowed our process a little bit, but I still like where we're headed because I've seen flashes. Against Augusta, they're an 8-4 team, and we beat them by 12, and we scored 53 points in the second half. That shows me what we are capable of doing. That's all I need to refer to back to our team is what we're capable of doing.
Well, Coach, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully, the Vikings can find a way to get right back on the winning track.
Thank you very much, and go Vikings.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Vikings are looking to keep in the thick of the Dunn St. Croix Conference race. At the same time, the Wolves are looking to keep pace with conference-leading Durand Panthers. So the stage is set for some exciting boys high school basketball. And we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it over to Elmwood High School, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's Dunn St. Croix Conference boys game between the Colfax Vikings and the Plum City Elmwood Wolves. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back. No. Kevin!
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings boys game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Light Colfax Viking basketball. It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
Lenz with the rebound puts it up and in. Christian Lenz gets the putback shot.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking boys varsity basketball game.
And it's no good. Rebound taken down and put up and in. Ryan Albright with the rebound.
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Inside, gives it off to Hoffman. Hoffman feeds underneath, the shot goes up and in by Nathan Hajdukovic.
Yeah, good cut there by Nate.
Good evening. Welcome to Elmwood High School. Rick Olson here along with Dan Petschau, Chris Olson on the camera, and we're going to bring you Colfax Viking boys basketball and the Elmwood Plum City Band. As the Vikings are getting ready to take on the Plum City Elmwood Wolves. The Wolves come into today's game with an overall record of 9 wins, 4 losses. 4-2 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, and the Vikings are 5-6 overall, 2-3 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. Dan, it's going to be interesting to see how the Vikings have adjusted and changes they've made after that game on Tuesday against Elmwood, when the Vikings were coming off their COVID layoff, and they really struggled in that game, and you could see that it was a COVID issue. But now we'll see if they've gotten some of their legs back, some of their wind back, some of those shots that didn't drop maybe will drop now.
Yeah, it's going to be a game of the big boys down there. Luke Webb, you know, he's 6'7". They got 6'7", 6'4", so that will make Nick Jensen really work tonight. Tristan Lyons too, but they got their hands full in the baseline tonight.
It's going to be really interesting to see who the Vikings do match up with Luke Webb. I mean, like you said, 6'7". The Vikings, they're 5 inches shorter. Well, no, Tristan Lyons is only 2 inches shorter. But
yeah, I would guess that Coach Noel, he probably going to try to get him into foul trouble early and change the game right there.
And the other one would be Austin Swanson, who has started to show some improvement and has some bulk under the basket. And it appears, all I'm going by is what I see in the statistics. And that is that Webb is their leading scorer, but he's not shooting anything from outside the arc, which means, to me, they're feeding him in the paint. And so you need to put a body on him.
Yeah, put a body on him.
And possibly front him and don't let him hit the ball.
Yeah, and that'll kind of push him outside. Then he'll probably a non-factor there.
Well, we've got about 5 minutes to go before the start of tonight's game. So we're going to take this time out, and when we come back, Dan will give us the starting lineups. Then we'll see how they do the starting lineups from their scorers table, the national anthem, and we'll have some basketball action for you here. So you're tuned to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Back here at Elmwood High School, Rick Olson along with Dan Petschau. And Dan, why don't you fill us in on who's playing tonight?
Yeah, if anybody can hear me, Chris.
I think they can hear you fine.
All right, here's starters for Elmwood Plum City tonight. They're going to go with number 10, senior Dana Whipple. Senior number 13, Jared Pelzel. Junior number 21, Trevor Asher. Senior number 22, Luke Webb. And senior number 25, Travis Seipel. For the Colfax Vikings, they're going to go with senior number 2, Nathan Hajdukovic. Senior number 4, Bryce Sikora. Sophomore number 10, Elijah Ensminger. Junior number 23, Jack Charlo. And senior number 24, Ryan Albrecht.
And, you know, if you can't join us, or if you can't beat them, join them. Let's listen to the Plum City Elmwood High School Band and their fight song. Okay, so that was the Plum City Elmwood High School fight song, and of course we're going to go back to Wisconsin. And the Colfax fight song. Long song. Well, my mistake there, that of course, for those of you listening, knew right away that was not the Viking fight song. And anyway,
which is
heading over to their bench. The Vikings go, of course, for those of you not familiar with the Vikings fight song, it's Go You Northwestern.
Yeah.
And that was fight song for Notre Dame. That's all right. Teams are over at the benches. We're going to have the national anthem. And the starting lineups, all of that coming up in just a moment. In fact, we'll send it over to the bench and listen to the pep band as they get ready for it.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's Dunn St. Croix Conference Boys Basketball game between the Colfax Vikings and the EPC Wolves. And those defending our freedom, we ask those who are able to stand, remove your hats, place your hand over your heart to proclaim the national anthem by the EPC Pep Band, directed by Keaton Walker and Felina Carlson.
performed by the Elmwood Plum City Band, or Plum City Elmwood. I guess technically it is Plum City Elmwood. And so...
In the event of an emergency,
I did not know that.
AED is located.
And we'll send it right back down to the sports
or
table.
in the gym. To support the efforts of creating a positive experience for all, here's a message from Baby Gloves.
Good sportsmanship is the responsibility of all in attendance at this event. We'd like to remind everyone to cheer positively and support all athletes, coaches, officials, and spectators throughout this event. Thank you.
And now, the starting lineups for tonight's game, starting for the Vikings. Senior, number 4, Ryan Sakura. Sophomore, number 10, Ryan Sakura. Junior, number 23, Jack Charles. Senior, number 24, Ryan Allen. The Vikings are coached by Mark Knoll, Tristan Kittleson, Nick Height, and Brett Prince. Starting for the
And that's the starting lineups for tonight's game. Starters again for the Plum City Elmwood Wolves. We have Whipple, Pelzel, Asher, Webb, and Seipel. For the Vikings, the usual starting five: Hajdukovic, Sikora, Ensminger, Charlo, and Albright. Hajdukovic jumping center against Luke Webb. Official checking, ball goes in, and the tip control by the Wolves. Whipple with it in the backcourt. Passes across the timeline to Pelzel, down into the left corner now underneath the Webb. Back out to Seipel. He's got it on the left side, over to the right side to Whipple. Ball gets knocked away by the Vikings and out of bounds. It'll still be Plum City Elmwood's ball. Seipel the inbound. Gets it out to Webb. He's out between the circles, feeds it over to the left side to Belzel. Shot from the left corner is good, three-pointer from Dane Whipple. And down the floor come the Vikings, and it looked like Hajdukovic wasn't expecting the ball, so quickly back down the floor come the Wolves, and a shot from three is no good. Rebound chased down by Hajdukovic. Gets it over to Sikora, and he gets it quickly into the forecourt. Ensminger being closely guarded out between the circles. He feeds it over to the left side to Sikora. Back out to Ensminger. Down to the elbow to Hajdukovic. Takes it into the paint, puts the shot up. It's no good. Rebound taken down by the Wolves. Down the floor comes Whipple. Feeds it over to Pelzel. High, wide, and left. Gets it over to Seipel. Now down into the right corner to Whipple. Asher. Now out, they feed it to Webb down underneath. He's double teamed underneath. Gets a lot of traffic. But then they feed it over to Seipel, who lays it up and in. 5-0. The Wolves on top. Hajdukovic with it. Gets it out to Sikora. Feeds it into the lane to Charlo. Hajdukovic puts the shot up. It's no good. And the Wolves bring it down. Whipple on the dribble. Across the timeline. Into the forecourt. He's got it to Pelzel. Out to Seipel. They get it underneath to Whipple. Feeds it over to Asher, who tries to lay it up. It's no good. Vikings quickly down the floor. Taking it up. Putting it up. No good. And we're going to get a charge being called on Ensminger. Elijah Ensminger called for the charge.
Yeah, good job by Travis Seipel to get his feet set. Draw the charge.
So the Wolves have it. Down the floor they come. Shot from Webb from the three-point line. It's no good. And Ensminger brings it down for the Vikings on the right side. Feeds it down into the right corner to Sikora. Gets it to Hajdukovic at the free throw line. Feeds it over to the left side. Shot's no good. Rebound taken down. This is Seipel behind the back dribble. Pulls on the brakes. Feeds it over into the right side to Asher. Then they get it over to Whipple, and we're going to get a travel call on Whipple. So the Vikings will have it, 5-0. The Wolves on top. Vikings get it to Charlo, feeds it over to Ensminger, takes it into the paint, puts the shot up, it's no good. Ensminger gets the ball back, puts it back up, it does not go, but he got fouled on the way up.
It's the first on Webb.
That's Webb's first personal. First team foul. Shot is off the back of the iron. Vikings a little bit cold right now. Second shot on the way, no good. Dan, did you make sure the cover was taken off that rim?
Yeah, we didn't check that yet.
Seipel has it on the left side, feeds it into the paint. Ball gets knocked away, but Seipel gets it back. Feeds it over to Whipple, puts a shot up and partially blocked, and here come the Vikings. Sikora with it down the floor on the left side, feeds it out to Hajdukovic. Jumper from the elbow, he hit it. Nathan Hajdukovic gets the Vikings on the board. Seipel with it, gets it to Asher. Asher over to Whipple, on the right side to Webb, on the left, takes it into the paint, lays it up, and it goes in. Quickly down the floor come the Vikings. Ensminger with it, feeds it back to Sikora. Sikora back to Ensminger, cross-court pass over to the left side to Albright, then back out to Sikora. To the free throw line to Charlo, to Albright. Hajdukovic in the left corner, cross-court pass. Now they get it out high to Sikora. To Albright, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Asher. Hits it over to Whipple. 7-2. Wolves on top. And we have a loose ball picked up by the Vikings, but now stolen back by Elmwood Plum City. And we have a lot of contact. I think we're going to get Ensminger with a shove.
That'll be Ensminger's second.
So with two fouls on Ensminger, looks like Irwin's going to come check in. Ensminger's going to take a little bit of a seat. And they're going to change the game ball. Maybe that'll make it go in better for the Vikings.
Oh, Deflategate.
I didn't know Coach Belichick was. All right, the Wolves have it. Seipel to inbound. Feeds it in, it gets knocked out of bounds, and it went off the Wolves and went off of Asher. So it'll be Viking ball. Wolves putting on full court pressure. Albright to inbound. Gets it into Hajdukovic. Over to Sikora. Takes it across the timeline. Takes it into the paint. Feeds it to Charlo, who can't find the handle. It goes out of bounds, and it'll be the Wolves ball. The ball was a little bit low for Charlo, down around his shins, and he couldn't find the handle on it. Tristan Lenz into the lineup. Wolves inbound it, but the ball stolen by Irwin. He gets it out to Hajdukovic, takes it into the paint, turns around. They're going to say travel.
Must have moved his pivot foot.
So the Wolves have it. They bring it down into the forecourt. Asher has it at the left baseline. Gets it back out high to Pelzel. to Whipple, and Whipple loses the handle, and it's out of bounds. Vikings will get it. Albright to inbound. To Hajdukovic. Back to Albright. Over to Irwin. Irwin feeds it into the forecourt. Sikora with it. Gets it over to Albright, then to Hajdukovic in the right corner to the baseline. To Lenz, tried to get a pass over to Irwin, got intercepted by the Wolves. Webb has it on the right side. Cross-court pass over to Pelzel, puts up the three, and he hit it. 10-2. Plum City Elmwood on top. Sikora with it. To Albright, back to Sikora. Over to Irwin. Irwin with a three off the back of the iron, no good. Down the floor comes Elmwood. Plum City. Ball gets taken away by Hajdukovic. Feeds it into the forecourt to Albright. And we have a timeout being called by the Vikings. So with the timeout on the floor, it's the Wolves 10, Vikings 2. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
We're back here at Elmwood High School, one of the two homes for the Plum City Elmwood Wolves. When the girls play the Wolves, they will be playing over in Plum City. That was one of the games that was postponed. So Sikora has it. And the pass went right through the hands of Hajdukovic and into the arms of the Wolves. Christian Martin now into the lineup for the Wolves. Gets the ball over to Pelzel's. Shot does not go in. And down the floor come the Vikings. Irwin on the dribble. Feeds it over to Sikora on the left side. Back to Irwin. He's on the left wing. Back over to Sikora. To Irwin. Back to Sikora. And his pass into the free throw line gets intercepted by Pelzel. He's on the left side, gets it out between the circles to Martin. Over to Seifel. Back out high to Pelzel. Back to Seifel at top of the key. To Martin on the left side, to Webb. To Seifel, jumper from the paint is no good, and the Vikings come down the floor. Lenz with it, thought about a three. Gets it over to Albright, back to Lenz. Cross pass over to Hajdukovic, takes it into the paint, shot is no good. Vikings still really can't buy a shot. And down the floor come the Wolves. Pelzel gets it over to Seifel, over to Martin on the right side, back out high to Asher, over to the left corner to Pelzel, three-pointer is good. Vikings with it. And the ball gets stolen. Down the floor goes Asher. Or check it, that's Martin. And he got fouled as he was trying to lay it up. Fouled by Sikora.
One thing I'm not seeing from Colfax is a little bit of urgency. They're a little flat-footed.
First shot by Martin is good. By the way, that's the first foul on Sikora. Third team foul on the Vikings. Second shot is up, rings around and goes in. And we have a timeout on the floor with the score. Elmwood Plum City, or Plum City Elmwood 15, Vikings 2, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
On those days when you're hankering for something that's delicious and nutritious, simply stop by FitFam Nutrition in Colfax. They serve Herbalife meal replacement shakes, metabolism-boosting teas and protein coffees. They taste as good as they sound, and they're healthy. Come and visit the Bentons and let them prepare for you a simply sweet treat, or something for the chocoholic or coffee lover in you. FitFam is a slam dunk. That's FitFam Nutrition, complete with one-on-one wellness coaching and business opportunities. 1020 University Avenue in Colfax.
And we're back here at Elmwood High School. Vikings to inbound the ball. They dug a bit of a hole. Down 15-2. And as Dan was saying during the timeout, they're still maybe showing some effects of that COVID layoff. They aren't shooting accurately. They seem a step slow.
Yeah, I want to see them get out and run a little bit. They're trying to stay in their half-court set. When they were winning, they were in the transition a lot better.
And we're going to get a traveling call on Hajdukovic at the free throw line. And he's not sure why they're calling him for traveling.
Yeah, he did a pirouette.
It sure looked good to me. I mean, he had never moved the pivot foot. Wolves have it just across the timeline. Pelzel feeds it over to Martin on the right side. They get it into the lane to Webb. Webb out to Pelzel from three. Now steps in, puts up a two-pointer, no good. Down the floor comes Ensminger. Ensminger between the circles, feeds it over to Hajdukovic into the lane, no good. And we're going to get a foul on the floor, and we'll see who they call it on here. It will be on the Wolves.
25.
So the foul is on Seipel. Inbound pass. Long pass out to Ensminger. Ensminger, high widen left, feeds it over to the right side to Hajdukovic. Or check, that was Sikora. Sikora now has it on the left side, puts the jumper up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Wolves. Mitch Medine is in the lineup for the Vikings. Pelzel has it at the top of the key. Over to the right side to Seipel. Back out to Holt, and his shot is up, no good. Rebound, loose on the floor. And we have a timeout being called by Pelzel, a very wise timeout. And we'll take this break as well. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Saturday, January 22nd, when the Vikings make up their game at the Elk Mound Mounders, originally scheduled for January 11. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 4:35 p.m. That's like Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Saturday, January 22nd.
And again, I want to remind you about the start time. Viking pregame will start at 4:35 in the afternoon. Opening tip-off of that game tomorrow is at 5 o'clock. Martin has it on the left side, feeds it into the lane to Asher. Couldn't find anywhere, kicks it out. His shot is no good. Shot was by Holt, and the Vikings bring it down the floor. Ensminger on the dribble, gets it out to Medine. Over to the left side to Albright. Back to Medine, over to Ensminger, back to Medine, to Albright. Feeds it underneath to Charlo, went up and it's no good. He had a wide open layup and he couldn't get it to drop. Martin with the dribble in the forecourt for the Wolves. Feeds it over to Asher, now to Webb at the top of the key. Webb drives into the lane, stops, feeds it out to Asher. Back over to Webb. Webb again takes it into the lane, lays it up. It doesn't go in.
Good block by Nick Jensen.
And Medine with it. Ensminger now has it. Out to Sikora. Over to Medine. Medine takes it between the circles. Over to Ensminger on the left side. Pulls up at the elbow. He hit the shot. That's just what the Vikings need. They needed to have shots start to drop for them. Wolves come down the floor now. Whipple on the dribble. Gets it over to Asher. Asher over to Webb. Webb on the dribble, gets it over to Asher on the left side. Get it out to Whipple, back over to Asher on the left. Over to the right side to Martin. Martin on the right wing. Dribbles it into the lane, and we're going to get a pushing foul being called on Medine. That'll be his first. Pass comes in, shot goes up and in by Webb. Now on the floor comes Ensminger, and we get a foul on the floor. We're going to get a blocking foul on the floor before he put the shot up. Albright into the lineup. Medine has a seat. Sikora to inbound. Gets it into Jensen. To Albright. Back over to Sikora in the right corner. Out high to Ensminger. Ball gets tapped away and being struggled for on the floor. We're going to get a jump ball called. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Pelzel back into the lineup for Plum City Elmwood. Albright has it in the corner, feeds it to Jensen on the right side of the lane. Back out to Albright. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound taken down by Webb. Webb on the dribble as he comes across the timeline. Stops at the free throw line. Little shake and bake. Gets it out to Asher, back to Webb on the left side. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Whipple. Whipple out to Pelzel. And it's over to Holt. Holt to Webb on the right side. Out to Pelzel between the circles. To Whipple on the left side. Puts the shot up and in. 19-4. 15-point lead for the Wolves. 5:39 to go in the first half. Vikings feed it into the lane. Jensen can't find the handle, and here come the Wolves back down the floor. Whipple has it, drives into the lane, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Webb. Feeds it out to Pelzel. Thought about the three-pointer. Now he takes the three-pointer, and he hit it.
He's got 3 threes, 9 points.
And we have a timeout being called by the Vikings. 22-4. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School boys basketball.
This is what we came here for!
Our next game will be on Thursday, January 27th when the Vikings host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:55 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Thursday, January 27th.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Back here at Elmwood High School. Vikings have the ball, 5:09 to go in the first half. Sikora with it across the timeline. Vikings down 22-4. They get it out to the top of the key. Sikora feeds it underneath and up and in. Austin Swanson
We'll see if that's the spark that Colfax needed.
That's what we had talked about before the game started, that the physical presence of Swanson underneath there might be a help. The Wolves have it on the left side. Asher takes it into the lane. His shot goes up. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Webb, and the Wolves recycle it. They feed it out high to Whipple. Chase down loose ball. Puts it over to Seipel, then to Asher. Asher drives to the side of the lane, then gets it out to Seipel from three. No good. The quick act by Whipple is good, and he drew the harm. Foul is going to be on Bryce Sikora. That's his first personal.
His second?
Or second personal, okay. A little slow on the scoreboard over there. Free throw is good. Vikings down by 19. And we're going to get a traveling call against Hajdukovic. That's his third traveling call. So the Wolves have it. They feed it into the forecourt to Pelzel, down to the left baseline, then out to Webb, and his shot is no good. Seipel's putback is no good. Rebound taken down by Charlo. His outlet pass is stolen. They get it to Webb. Webb to Seipel. To Whipple, back out to Seipel, over to the left side to Pelzel, three-pointer no good. And we're going to get a push-off being called.
Should be on 21.
And it is against Asher. So the Vikings will have it. That's Asher's second foul, 15th foul. And down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora with it. Takes it to the right side of the lane. Feeds it to Hajdukovic. His shot is no good. And the Wolves bring it down the floor. 3:13 to go in the first half. Wolves swing it around. They get it underneath the Holt, who puts it up, and that ball didn't have a chance of getting there. He tried to shoot it as he was falling down. There just wasn't anything on it.
Yeah, good job. But Colfax defense had dropped down and created a turnover.
Inbound pass, and it's out of bounds. A little bit of frustration out there on the floor right now by the Vikings. And we have a timeout on the floor. So with a timeout on the floor, 3:02 remaining in the first half, it's the Wolves 25, Vikings 6, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN TV.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV by calling 715-563-1749.
Ellsworth to inbound the ball, or Elmwood to inbound the ball at Plum City Elmwood. They swing the ball around to the left side. Seipel with it. Cross court pass to Holt. Down into the corner to Whipple on the right side. Takes it into the lane, puts it up, and it rattles home.
Tough shot by Whipple.
Come down the floor. Sikora with it, takes it into the lane, overlays. Rebound. Swanson grabbed the ball. We have a foul.
Who we got?
And the foul's on Webb, it looks like. That's the 6th foul on Plum City Elmwood. Feed into Hajdukovic, lays it up. He can't get a shot to drop. He made that first one, and then he can't get anything after that. And down the floor come the Wolves. Holt with it in the right corner. Feeds it out to Seipel. Back over to Holt. Back to Seipel between the circles. Whipple gets it back out to Holt. To Pelzelt. To Seipel. To Whipple from the top of the key. 3-pointer, no good. Rebound. Taken down by Swanson. Hajdukovic feeds it over to Ensminger. Puts up the 3. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Charlo. It's good, and he draws the harm.
Jack's first 2. Jack.
Tristan Lenz into the lineup, replacing Austin Swanson.
Not sure. Oh.
Check that. The foul was not on Webb. Shot is good. Foul was on Whipple. It was his first. It's the 7th foul. So the Vikings will be in the bonus. Down into the right corner, they feed it. The Wolves feed it into the lane, and the shot gets partially blocked. Vikings come away with it. Here comes Sikora over to Lenz. Lenz lays it up and goes in, and he draws the foul.
Yeah, that's the Colfax offense that I know right there. Push the ball.
Let the horses run. Tristan Lenz at the line. That foul was on Holt, by the way. Free throws up, no good. Rebound. Taken down by Seipel. And down the floor come the Wolves. Whipple with it on the right side. Gets it down to Seipel in the right corner. Seipel trying to work the right baseline. Turns around, puts it up. We're going to get a foul called on Charlo.
That's a tough call for Jack.
That's his first personal. Shot is up and good by Seipel. 5'9" senior. Second shot on the way, no good. Lenz with the rebound. Down the floor come the Vikings. Hajdukovic takes it to the lane, feeds it out to Charlo. Goes up with the shot, it's no good. Gets his own rebound, puts it back up and in. Coming up on a minute to go in the first half. 28-13. Down the lane, putting it home is Christian Martin for the Wolves. Vikings have it. Hajdukovic at the top of the key. Feeds it over to the left side to Ensminger. Ensminger puts the shot up. It does not go. Off balance shot. Ensminger got the ball. We're gonna say Ensminger was out of bounds with the ball.
Yeah, that was about a 5-second late penalty or whistle there.
Well, and the interesting thing is the ball was rolling across the floor, so Ensminger didn't even have it.
And the ref that called it was on the opposite side. But anyways.
Martin takes it down, puts it up, and in. 32-13. Vikings with it. Albright, or check that, Sikora. Now they get it into Lenz in the lane, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Tristan Lenz. Now the officials are discussing it.
Yeah, I don't know how that would be that the Wolves defense had their arm draped all over Lenz. And yet it's a...
And they're going to get... First foul on Lenz. Seipel with it. Gets it over to Whipple into the forecourt for the Wolves. Whipple takes it down the right side, lays it up, it's not good. Rebound blocked. And that's that Coming up at halftime, we have a Viking profile. It's going to be Bryce Sikora today, as well as the Colfax High School report, and that's all coming up right after this. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is him. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that he's a good person. It's okay to make mistakes. As long as it's coming from love, it starts to work itself out.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Bryce Sikora. And Bryce, your year here at Colfax?
Senior, yep.
Okay, and we know you play basketball, but what are some other activities you're involved with here at school?
Football and baseball.
All right. Now, when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been?
I've been playing since roughly 5th grade, and my game's always been improving, and I've loved the sport because, you know, teammates, and you just grow that bond with people and coaches.
What's the most important thing that you've learned then playing basketball?
Probably communication. I mean, that's huge in playing with anybody on the court.
Especially a fast-moving game like basketball. You better have the communication right or you're going to mess up.
Oh, totally.
All right, so when you're not playing basketball, you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I like to hunt, fish, and ride four-wheeler.
That sounds good. Be outside.
Yep.
Have some fun. Rapid-fire questions. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Now, is that the same thing you said during football?
Yep.
Okay, and your favorite flavor?
Peanut butter.
Oh, my. Okay.
Change it out.
Yeah, you did. Your favorite color and why?
I don't have a favorite color. Let's go red.
Go red?
Yeah.
School color?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, all right. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Fly.
Okay, now, if you could fly, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Bryce's superhero name?
Fly a lot.
Fly a lot. Oh, you should put a Sir in front of that. Sir Fly a lot. Yes. There. Okay, and your favorite NBA team?
Bucks.
All right. And favorite college team?
Badgers.
Very good. And we're talking with Bryce Sikora on Viking Profile. And Bryce, what are your plans for after high school?
Go down to Florida, hopefully be a firefighter or a cop, and then go from there.
Okay. How about a shout out to the family?
Shout out to my mom, dad, and sister.
Okay. When people watch Viking basketball games, where are they going to find you on the floor?
All over the place since we'll be pressing, but I'll mainly be a guard handling the ball, hopefully. So.
Okay. Hey, we want to thank Bryce Sikora for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Time now for the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
The Colfax Vikings athletics were brought to nearly a complete stop last week as COVID-19 reared its ugly head. The virus forced cancellation of one boys basketball game and the postponement of one other boys game and two girls games. The only team in action last week, once the virus hit, was the Bloomer Colfax Raptors wrestling team. On Tuesday the 11th, the Raptors hosted the Stanley Boyd Orioles in a dual meet. The Raptors strung together pins by Luke Blanchard, Bowen Rothbauer, Ethan Rubenzer, and James McElroy en route to a 46-24 victory. Then on Saturday, the Raptors traveled to Ladysmith to wrestle in the Ladysmith Invitational. At 120 pounds, Bryson Tusho placed 8th place. Alex Poyer took 3rd at 145 pounds. At 152 pounds, Luke Blanchard won the championship with a 5-2 decision over Tommy Quinn from Cameron. Then at 160 pounds, Bowen Rothbauer followed suit by capturing the championship by pinning Josh Simon from Cumberland at 3 minutes and 34 seconds. At 170 pounds, Ethan Rubenzer took 4th place, while Ethan Nitak captured 6th at 182 pounds. Wrapping up the action for the Raptors was Brock McCann, who placed 5th at 195 pounds. The Bloomer Colfax Raptors placed 6th out of 19 teams at the Invitational. Now, prior to the virus striking, the Viking boys took on and defeated the Elevestrom Cardinals 80-49. That leaves the boys with an overall record of 5 wins and 5 losses, and a Dunn St. Croix Conference record of 2 wins and 2 losses. The boys were scheduled to play Spring Valley on Thursday as well as Somerset on Friday. However, COVID had other ideas. The game with Somerset has been canceled and will not be made up, but the game with Spring Valley will be made up on Tuesday, January 25th. The Viking girls were scheduled to take on the Elkmound Mounders on Tuesday and the Plum City Elmwood Wolves on Friday. Both games were postponed and will be made up, with the game at Elkmound on January 22nd and the game in Plum City on February 14th. This week, the Viking basketball teams get back to a busy schedule with 4 games total. The Viking boys start the week by hosting the Elkmound Mounders on Tuesday. Then on Friday, they will travel to Elmwood to take on the Plum City Elmwood Wolves. We will have both games live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The Viking girls will play 2 games. They will begin their week by hosting the Glenwood City Hilltoppers on Thursday, and then on Saturday they will travel to Elk Mound to make up the game with the Elkmound Mounders. This will be a battle of the 2 teams sitting on top of the Dunn St. Croix Conference. We are carrying both games live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. The Bloomer Colfax wrestlers have 2 events this week. On Thursday, the Raptors will take on the Cadott Hornets in a dual meet at Cadott High School. Then on Saturday the 22nd, the Grapplers will travel to Shell Lake for the Shell Lake Invite. Now, coming up next week, the Bloomer Colfax wrestlers will travel to Abbotsford for a dual meet as they prepare for the conference meet coming up in a couple of weeks. The Viking boys basketball team will have 2 games next week. On Tuesday the 25th, they will make up their postponed game with Spring Valley, and on Thursday the 27th, they will host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. The Viking girls are also scheduled for 2 games next week. On Tuesday the 25th, the girls will travel to Mondovi to take on the Mondovi Buffaloes, and then on Friday the 28th, the girls will travel to Durand to take on the Durand Panthers. We will carry those games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. In other school news, students will be released from school at 12:30 on Friday for teacher in-service. There will also be no morning or afternoon junior kindergarten. Friday is also the final day of the second quarter and the first semester. And that's what's happening at Colfax High School for the week of January 16th.
You've been tuned to the Colfax High School Report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is second half action.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
And we're back here at Elmwood High School. Vikings dug themselves a bit of a hole, trailing the Wolves 32-13. Wolves have the ball to start the second half. They've got it down into the right corner. Out to Pelzel, out high to Seipel, over to Whipple on the left side. Back out to Asher, over to Whipple on the left, to Webb. Left side of the lane, puts it up and rattles around and drops down through. 34-13. Vikings have it. Sikora with it. Gets it to Hajdukovic. Tries to feed it to Charlo. Ball got knocked loose and the Wolves have it. Pelzel across the timeline, feeds it over to Whipple. Back to Pelzel. To Seipel. Over to, out of bounds. It was off the hands. I think they're saying it went off Whipple's hands. Hajdukovic with it on the right side. Cross court pass over to Ensminger. To Sikora between the circles. Back to Ensminger. Off of his foot. Picked up by Charlo. To Hajdukovic from the side of the lane. No good. And rebound taken down by the Wolves. Long pass to Webb. He puts it up and lays it in.
Webb's got it.
Webb using some of that 6'7" frame of his. Vikings have it. Ensminger with a three-pointer on the way, no good. Webb takes the rebound. It's it to Pelzel, who brings it down the floor. Pelzel feeds it over to the left side. Now back out high to Seipel. Seipel has it over into the right corner now to Asher. Now Seipel on the right side to Webb. On the side of the lane, puts it up and it falls in. You know, Dan, there's bounce around and fall in, and the Vikings are bouncing and falling off. Long pass over to Ensminger on the right side. Sikora with it. Over to Albright. Back out to Sikora. To Charlo. Feeds it out to Albright. Three-pointer on the way off the back side of the iron. It's no good. And rebound taken down by the Wolves. Pelzel with it. Gets it over to Seipel. To Asher. Drives into the lane. Puts the shot up. No good. Rebound. Fought for. Out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. Charlo inbounds it to Sikora. Sikora right through the center circle. Now they get it over to the left side to Ensminger. Back to Sikora. Drives the left side, feeds it down underneath. Hajdukovic's shot is no good. Rebound to the Wolves. Whipple with it. Gets it over to Asher. Now out to Pelzel. Back to Asher from the left side to Webb. To Asher on the side of the lane. Puts it up. It's good and a whistle and a foul.
Trevor Asher's first 2 points of the night.
And the foul is on Charlo. It's his second personal. Free throw is no good. Rebound taken down by Seipel. Gets it over to Pelzel, then to Asher from the right baseline. It's no good. Ensminger comes away with it. 40-13. Ensminger puts it up and takes the lid off of this basket. Pelzel with it for the Wolves. They're a little slow on the scoreboard there. It is 40-15. Long shot goes up and in by Whipple. I see how they got their score up, but they didn't get the Vikings score up. Ball goes out of bounds. I think we actually have a foul.
Let's see if they get Webb on this. If it would be, that'd be 3. No, they don't. Trevor Ash.
And we have a timeout on the floor. 43-15 in spite of what the scoreboard says. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit dairystatebank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we're back here at Elmwood High School. And they did check the scoreboard, and it is now correct, 43-15. Vikings were behind by enough. The Wolves didn't need any extra help. Ensminger with a 3, and he hit the three-pointer. 43-18. Vikings going to try to scratch their way back in. Down the floor comes Whipple from the side of the lane, banks it off the glass and in. Hajdukovic with it. Takes it down the left side of the lane, tries to feed it over to Jensen. Ball got knocked out of bounds. It was touched by either Holt or Whipple, one of the two. They both had arms in that area. Anyway, the Vikings will inbound.
Vikings go big. 3 big boys.
Swanson in, Jensen in. Ensminger with a 3, no good. And Lenz is in. You're right, Vikings going with their big lineup. Ensminger with a turnaround jumper, and it's blocked. He tried to go up against Webb, and that wasn't going to work. And Webb lays it up and in. 5'8" Ensminger going up against 6'7" Webb was not going to work. Lenz has it in the lane, lost the handle on it, and the Wolves pick it up. Down the floor come the Wolves. Holt with it from the corner, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Ensminger on the dribble. Spins at the elbow. Gets it over to Hajdukovic. 3-pointer in and out, no good. Jensen with a rebound. Gets it out to Ensminger. Puts it up off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Webb.
Yeah, I like the strategy by Coach Snow right now.
Webb on a steady dribble from the free throw line, no good, and he got fouled by Lenz.
Lenz is pleading his case, but he got him on the arm.
He did get him on the arm. I do think that Webb did a pretty good job of selling it, too. So Webb at the line for 2. Shot is up, no good. I can't rely on the scoreboard up there. They don't change that. How many is that on Lenz?
Tristan Lenz I have 1.
Okay. And the Vikings come down the floor. Ensminger gets it to Hajdukovic. Feeds it back out to Ensminger on the left side. Takes it to the left elbow, puts a shot up, it rattles around, no good. Rebound taken down by Seipel. Gets it over to Martin. To Pelzel, he's high, wide, and left. Over to Seipel on the left wing. To Webb at the top of the key, drives into the lane, puts it up, and we're going to say a foul on Swanson in the lane. Inbound pass to Webb. Feet underneath, and the shot is good by Seipel.
Seipel's got 5.
Down the floor comes Sikora, and he gets it over to Lenz. Back to Sikora. High, wide, and right. Top of the key. Turns. Squares up, puts the shot up and in. 49-20. Webb has it at the free throw line. Takes it down the left side of the lane, or the right side of the lane. Gets it over to Pelzo. Back to Webb on the baseline. Feeds it to Martin. Martin tries to put it up. We're going to get a whistle and a foul on Swanson again.
Yeah, another late whistle.
Martin at the line. First shot is up off the front of the iron, no good. Caught a little razzing from Webb that time. Second shot on the way. That one's off the back of the iron. He needed to do something in between. All right, Vikings down the floor. Sikora on the dribble. Hit it. At the top of the key. Takes the shot. In and out. No good. Rebound tied up underneath. Jump ball. Possession arrow. Goes to the Vikings.
That's what Colfax has to do right now is get to the baseline and see if they can get some fouls on Webb.
Inbound pass to Ensminger, to Sikora, to Jensen. His shot is short, but Swanson grabs the short shot and lays it in. Jensen's going to say that's no shot, that was a pass. Down the floor comes Martin to Pelzel. Over on the left side now to Seipel. To the baseline to Martin, or no, it's not Martin, that was Holt. Now Holt's got it on the right baseline. Jumper's no good. Swanson with the rebound. Ensminger has it on the left side. To the top of the key. Feeds it back over to the left side to Sikora. Drives towards the lane. Feeds it to Lenz. Lays it up and in.
Good luck,
49-24. Down the floor come the Wolves, and laying it in is Bo Holt. And down goes Sikora, and his shot was swatted out of bounds. Vikings will have it. We have a couple of substitutions coming in for the Wolves. We also have a timeout on the floor. So it's 51-24, Wolves leading the Vikings. You're tuned to Viking Basketball, the Northern Light Webcasting Network, and NLWN-TV.
Simplify your life. Pleasant Valley Properties provides affordable housing and homes in communities in Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Nebraska. They have staff available to help you locate the home that best meets your needs and desires, as well as service staff that maintains the properties. Contact Pleasant Valley Properties at 715-226-6200. Call today and let them help you get into the home of your dreams. That's Pleasant Valley Properties, 301 Bremer Avenue in Colfax.
9:43 to go in this one. Vikings trailing 51-24. Struggling to try to get back into this. Sikora to inbound for the Vikings. Gets it into Ensminger. Ensminger crosses it over to the left side. Charlo lays it up. It goes in and he draws the harm. Jack Charlo picks up 2 and a chance at 3. Foul is going to be on Holt. Second team foul on the Wolves. Second foul on Holt. Shot goes up. No good. Rebound tipped up. No. And we're going to get a jump ball called. Lenz tied up Webb. Possession arrow in favor of the Wolves. Holt inbounds it to Whipple. Whipple quickly down the floor. Feeds it down to Asher. They get it back out high. Webb from the middle of the paint, and he puts it in. 53-26. Vikings down the floor. Try to feed it to Jensen at the free throw line. Ball got tipped loose. Martin with it, feeds it down to Whipple. Whipple lays it up and they overlaid it. Loose ball chased down by Ansminger. Ansminger brings it across the timeline on the right side. Spins. Feeds it over to Sikora. Three-pointer. He hit the three! 53-28. Wolves have it. Webb with it. Being guarded by Jensen. Webb pulls it back out. He's high, wide, and right. Webb still on the dribble between the circles. Webb feeds it over into the right side. Shot goes up, no good by Asher, and the Vikings come down the floor with it. Sikora with it, feeds it over to Ansminger on the left. Back out to Sikora, out high. Takes it down the right side. Back out. Was supposed to be to Jensen and just wasn't quite on target. So an over and back being called against the Vikings. Seipel into the lineup for the Wolves. Gets it into Martin. Martin with it. Gets it back over to Seipel on the right side. To Asher at the top of the key. To Martin on the left. And the pass into Webb got intercepted by Charlo. And Charlo wasn't looking for the ball, but fortunately Jensen grabbed the loose ball. Got it out to Hajdukovic. His shot was no good. And here come the Wolves. All wide open to Seipel. And we're going to get a foul basket count.
Yeah, good hustle by Ansminger to get back, but he just drew the foul. Seipel was down there cherry picking and got the easy layup.
And here's the free throw off the front, no good. And the Vikings come down with it. Hajdukovic with it. Gets it over to Sikora on the right side. To Albright. Over to Ansminger on the left. Ansminger over to Albright. Albright into the lane to Sikora. Back over to Albright in the right corner. To Hajdukovic. To Sikora. To Albright. His shot is no good. Seipel with the rebound. And the Wolves taking their time. Whipple with the ball. In the forecourt, top of the key. Feeds it over to the right side to Asher. Asher gets it out to Seipel. Seipel down into the right corner to Asher. Whipple with three is no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. And the pass was intended for Charlo. And it's out of bounds, going to go to the Wolves. They inbound the ball. Whipple with it. Feeds it down into the forecourt. And Webb saves it, but right into the hands of Sikora. Takes it into the middle of the paint, puts it up no good. Rebound being batted around. It's going to be Viking ball as Whipple got his hands on it while he was standing out of bounds. Sikora inbounds it. Gets it out to Albright, and his shot is good from three. Ryan Albright with a three-pointer.
His first 3 points of the night.
And down the floor, down the Vikings. Asher with it. Gets it out to Pelzel. Over to Seipel on the right side. To Webb in the right corner. Drives the right baseline, puts it up, and it goes in. Here comes Sikora. Quickly down the floor. We're going to get a whistle and a foul.
Yeah, give a lot of credit to number 2, Nate Hajdukovic. He's got his hands full with Webb. Kind of a mismatch right now.
Sikora has it. Gets it over to Ansminger on the right. Back out to Sikora between the circles. Sakura stops, pumps from the middle of the paint, he hit it. 57-34, 5:29 to go. Seipel with it, tries to feed it, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball.
It's a big hill to get to climb right now for Colfax, but they're trying to put something together.
Playing pretty much even with the Wolves this half, but they can't play even with them.
Right, yeah, you can't be trading points.
Pelzel with it, feeds it over to Whipple on the left. To Webb.
Oh.
Webb stops, pumps it, puts it up, no good. Rebound, taken down by Charlo. Down the floor comes Ensminger. Ensminger with a shake and bake move, takes it to the free throw line. Feeds it out to Albright. Albright thought about feeding it over to the left, gives it to Ensminger on the right. He hit the three!
Little run for Colfax.
And we get a timeout on the floor. 57-37. Vikings trying hard to claw back in. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School boys basketball.
This is what we came in for!
Our next game will be on Thursday, January 27th when the Vikings host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 6:55 p.m. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Thursday, January 27th.
When you've checked that hayfield and find it's time to harvest, give a call to Aaron's Custom Baling. Aaron will provide you with 4x5 net-wrapped round bales. He can even give your bales that spruced up look with select custom netting if you'd like. Serving Western Wisconsin, that's Aaron's Custom Baling. Call 715-202-0118.
And that next boys game that the ad talked about being Thursday, we actually have one coming up before that on Tuesday. We're going to have a broadcast doubleheader. We'll have the girls live from Mondovi, and then following that, we'll have a same-day broadcast of the boys game against Spring Valley. That'll be in Colfax that night. That game will start probably sometime right around 9:30. So the Wolves have it. Seipel feeds it to Webb down along the baseline. And we're going to get a 3-second violation on Webb.
Yeah, let's see if we can get this game under 20 points here.
Down the floor quickly come the Vikings. Sikora with it out between the circles. Feeds to Charlo. Takes it into the paint. Gets it out to Hajdukovic. Tries to pass it through the paint. And the Wolves are right there to take it away. Whipple with it between the circles. Gets it over to Asher. And the pass intended for Seipel, but picked up by Pelzel. Then down to Webb on the right side. Back out to Pelzel between the circles.
Wolves are going to slow it down a little bit, run a little clock.
Feed over to, we're going to get a foul, and I think it's going to be called on Charlo. Pass went to Asher. He went up in the air and came down on top of Charlo in the process of catching it.
Yeah, that's actually a good foul. Be useful in a little bit.
Inbound pass to Webb. Over to Whipple, back to Webb on the right side. He's high, wide, and right. Tucks the ball under his arm. Now he takes it down the right side. Feeds it back out high to Seipel. Seipel shot is no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. And we've got a foul being called. Albright went up with it and got fouled from behind.
They're going to talk about this one.
They might call goaltending here. Yes, they gave him the goaltending call.
And they get the foul. Big play here for Colfax.
So that means Albright is getting this is a +1 opportunity. good, 57-40. And down the floor come the Wolves. Asher with it. Gets it out to Whipple. Over to Webb on the left side. To Asher down in the left corner. Back out high to Seipel. Over to Whipple on the right. Down into the right corner to Pelzel. Back out high to Seipel. To Whipple. To Asher. Feeding it to Webb underneath. He's looking for somewhere to go. Tries to work his way into the lane. Puts it up and in. He did a little left-handed dribble and then spun back to the right and laid it in. Vikings have it. Sikora with the three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound. Taken down by the Wolves. It's Whipple with it, coming down the floor. Over to Seipel. He takes it down the baseline, puts it up. It's good. And foul called on Ensminger. He can't believe that it's a foul.
The only thing I could think of that one was Travis Seipel kind of got him in the hip. It wasn't a direct on hit.
So Seipel at the line for the +1. Shot goes up and it's good. 62-40. Down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora gets it to Jensen. Jensen out to Albright. Albright with the shot is no good. Rebound taken down by the Wolves. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Whipple with it. Across the timeline. To Asher. Asher on the left side. Feeds it across to the right side to Pelzel. Pelzel dribbles over to the left side. Gets it to Asher. Asher on the left wing. He's on the dribble now. Gets it to Seipel along the left baseline. Back over to Asher. Now out to Webb.
We'll see.
Webb puts it to the floor. Tries to go into the lane. He was going to slam it. Missed it. And we're going to get a blocking foul.
On number 2.
That's on Nate Hajdukovic. That's only his first personal. Webb for the 1-and-1. First shot is up. It's good. And we have Martin coming in for Whipple for the Wolves. Just under a minute and a half remaining. Webb's second shot is up. It's good.
Luke Webb, he's got 20. He'll sit down for the day.
Holt into the lineup for Webb. And down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora to Ensminger on the left side. Back out to Sikora. Takes it between the circles. Feeds it over to Albright on the right. Back out to Sikora. Sikora from the free throw line puts it up. No good. Put back is no good. Goes up over the backboard and out of bounds. So it will be Elmwood Plum City's ball. Down the floor they come. Putting the shot up is no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. And Sminger has it. Over to Albright. Stops, turns, gets it out to Hajdukovic. Cross court pass to Albright. His pass to Ensminger. He picks it up. Back to Albright, to Jensen at the free throw lane. Jensen shot is up, no good. Rebound taken down by the Wolves. Coming up on 30 seconds remaining. Martin on the dribble. Top of the key, we have a whistle and a foul. And he wanted a timeout just long enough to get players in. Vikings going to get some players into the game as well. So inbounding it now is Holt for the Wolves. Gets it into Martin. Martin gets it to Malice. Malice over to Allen. Back to Holt. To Martin from three. He missed it. Rebound. Chased down by Medine. Medine quickly down the floor for the Vikings. Gets it over to Johnson. Johnson to Irwin. Irwin with a three-pointer off the front of the iron. No good. And there's the buzzer. Final score. The Plum City Elmwood Wolves 64 and the Vikings 40. We'll have Viking post-game where we'll talk a little about this game coming up right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Boys Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
Time now for Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at Elmwood High School. Plum City Elmwood Wolves coming out on top tonight, 64-40 over the Vikings. And Dan, I don't know what the Vikings can do about the cold shooting they had in the first half. Boy, oh boy, they couldn't buy a shot. And I mean, they only scored 13 points in the first half. They actually had a pretty good second half, but they only scored 13 in the first. You're not going to win many games doing that.
Yeah, you know, I think the first half they're a little, maybe a little awestruck over Luke Webb. They were a little scared to go inside against him, you know, and then when they did try, he did block them. Good job by Coach to kind of make that second half decision to put all three big guys in there for Colfax and kind of help out the small guys. But I'm still seeing that they're, you know, they're still a little rusty from those 12 days off. And second half looked a little better. They got out, did some transition offense. But, you know, Wolves, every time Colfax would score, the Wolves would score right back. And when you play that game that far down, you just can't catch up.
Right. They played even with them in the second half. What was it? The Vikings got 27 in the second half to, well, it was 32-27. But that's competitive. They were good and competitive in the second half. They just couldn't stay with them in the first half. And also, you could see that the Viking passes were off by a little bit, not by a lot, but just enough that the Wolves were able to get their hands on it. And it got to the point where you could see that wearing on the Vikings and their confidence, and to the point where they had trouble having confidence in each other. And that's a trouble mark.
Well, you know,
team.
Yeah, you know, kind of repeating what I said last week, but you know, they got in that good rhythm for 3-4 games. And then you go 12 days without probably seeing each other and no basketball, and there's just not the communication like there should be right now.
And you're right. They had good rhythm and good chemistry going for 3 games in a row. Don't forget to dance with the girl you brought. And it seems like they kind of got away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's decisions coming from the bench or it's the execution by the kids on the floor. I don't know. But whatever it wasn't working tonight.
Yeah, sometimes everybody wants to play perfect basketball. Everything just go right. But sometimes you just got to go out and play the game and not get too technical, not try to make it happen. Just let it happen.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get one of the coaches to come up tonight or not, but I'll tell you what, we're going to take a timeout. If we don't have a coach here after this timeout, we'll have Dan go through the scoring for this game. So you're tuned to Viking Post Game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. I love you. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Join us at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV for exciting Colfax High School girls basketball. Our next game will be on Saturday, January 22nd when the Vikings make up their game at the Elmwood Mounders, originally scheduled for January 11. Live coverage on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and on NLWN TV begins with Viking pregame at 4:35 p.m. That's like Colfax Viking girls basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV on Saturday, January 22nd.
Well, we're back here at Elmwood High School, and so far no sign of a coach, and that really doesn't surprise me all that much tonight. So, Dan, why don't you tell me how we got to that 64-40 score?
Here's the scores tonight for the Wolves. They are led by number 22, Luke Webb, with 20 points, followed by number 10, Dana Whipple, with 17. Then they had Jared Pelzel with 9. We had Travis Seipel and Christian Martin with 8. And we had Bo Holt with 2. For the Colfax Vikings, they were led by number 2, Nate Hajdukovic. Or no, it wasn't either. Number 10, Elijah Ensminger. He had 10 points, followed by Nate Hajdukovic with 9. We had Jack Charlotte with 7. We had Bryce Sikora with 7. We had Austin Swanson with 4. Tristan Lenz with 4. And there ain't no more.
Okay, and that's what happens when you take one like that. So, Vikings take one on the chin. Final score, 64-40. Don't forget, we do have basketball coming up tomorrow, late afternoon. Viking pregame is going to be at 4:35 as the Viking girls take on the Elmwood Mounders in the battle for first place in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. That ought to be a heck of a game. Doesn't get any easier for the Viking boys. They've got one coming up on Tuesday as they take on the Spring Valley Cardinals. And let me fill you in on that one. They're going to have the Spring Valley Cardinals on Tuesday. Live coverage is going to begin. Well, coverage is going to begin with Viking pregame, and that's going to start sometime right around 9:30 because it's going to be part 2 of a broadcast doubleheader. We'll have the girls' game from Mondovi as part 1. That'll be live, and then we'll have same-day coverage with the Viking boys taking on the Spring Valley Cardinals, and that'll all get started about 9:30 right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. Again, don't forget the girls' game tomorrow. Viking pregame at 4:35. The opening tip-off should be about 5 o'clock, and it should be done in plenty of time for you to get home or get tuned to the Packer game following shortly after that. The Bloomer Colfax wrestling team will also be in action tomorrow when they travel to Shell Lake to compete in the Shell Lake Invite. Say tonight's Colfax High School basketball game has been brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital, Dairy State Bank, Anderson Bridges, Slayton's Technology, Pleasant Valley Properties, Aaron's Custom Baling, FitFam Nutrition of Colfax, and Kyle's Buff and Shine. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV. This is Rick Olson for Dan Petchow, along with Chris Olson on the camera. That final score, once again, the Plum City Elmwood Wolves 64 and the Vikings 40. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking boys game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.